What's going on, y'all? So, before I get started, man, my bad again. I'm late, you know. So, a lot of, not a lot of y'all, people are invested in this thing, though, and I appreciate y'all. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start dropping one every other week. That way, I give myself time to make sure y'all get this good content. And once again, man, I apologize for being late. Hold on, I'm opening up the story now. So get this thing started. All right. Chapter 4, Positioning, Scene 15, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving always brought everybody back together, no matter how far folk drifted. By November, routines were set, reputations were forming, and everyone was pretending like things were normal. The holidays have a way of exposing cracks you don't see day to day. Uncle Virgil's house was packed, same as always. Food on every surface, music low enough for conversation but loud enough to drown out tension. Plates getting stacked before people even finish eating, and the kids running through the house like nothing had changed. A lot had definitely changed. V was posted near the kitchen, glass of something brown in his hand. He was holding court. Although Sonny was older, everyone knew V was head of the family when it came to business. V introduced Sonny to the business. Everett leaned against the counter beside him, nodding, half listening, half watching the room like he always did. Raj and Tommy were there as well. They had their own families, but they were always with ours for the holidays. CeeLo walked in later than everybody else. He had Erica with him, hoodie fresh, shoes clean, confidence sitting on him. He hugged the aunts, dapped the uncles, and smiled when he needed. His eyes stayed alert, always clocking entrances and exits. I noticed it immediately. After the formalities and praying for the food, Sonny and CeeLo went into the kitchen with V, Raj, Tommy, and Everett. In our family, the kitchen wasn't just where the food came from, it's where decisions were made. The rest of the family started with dinner. Mitch showed up with Angie and Kai. Mitch was taller now, broader, and a quiet confidence settling on him like it belonged there. Uncle G's asked him about sports. You sticking with football? He nodded. Yeah, also gonna play basketball and run track. I used to play football back in the day, nephews. I used to throw the ball so hard I could split the strings on a nigga's shoulder pads with one of my passes. Mitch and I fell out laughing. Uncle G's, you crazy as hell, I said. After a little more conversation with Uncle G's, Mitch pulled me aside. You see how everybody acting, he asked. Yeah, I said. Feels like they know something we don't. Or something they not saying, I replied. Neither of us spoke for a second. We just stood there, watching the room move like a living thing. Laughter near the table, a heated debate about old Eagles teams breaking out near the couch. Denise and her friends, whispering and laughing, glancing our way like we were part of the entertainment now. From the kitchen came another vibe. No voices this time, just the faint clink of glasses and the low hum of the refrigerator. Whatever was being discussed in there had reached a pause, and that felt heavier than talking. Kai walked over and leaned against the wall next to us. The older he got, the more he was starting to look like Mitch. Y'all all right? Kai asked. Yeah, Mitch said. What's been good, little cuz? I asked Kai. Ain't nothing, cuz. What's up with you? He asked back. I ain't making no noise, fam. I'm just staying out the way. When CeeLo finally stepped back into the living room, the energy shifted again. It was subtle, but everybody felt it. He wasn't loud, wasn't smiling as much. Erica followed close behind him, her hand brushing his back like she was making sure he was really there. Sonny came out next, calm as ever, like nothing worth mentioning had happened at all. V stayed in the kitchen. That told me more than anything else. People started grabbing seconds and someone turned the music up a notch. Conversations overlapped again, but now it felt forced. It was like the house was trying to return to something it had already moved past. I caught V's eye once through the doorway. He just looked at me for half a second longer than necessary, then turned back to Everett. That look wasn't a question, it was an assessment. Like he was deciding when, not if. That was the moment I understood something I didn't have words for yet. Thanksgiving wasn't about everybody coming back together. It was about seeing who was being brought closer and who was being quietly prepared. As we got our coats later, Mitch leaned toward me again. Feels like the last normal one, he said. I didn't answer. Didn't need to. Some moments don't announce themselves, they just leave a mark. Scene 16. Christmas. December came heavy, like the city knew something was lining up and wanted everyone to feel it. V's birthday landed on the 10th. Nobody treated it like a celebration out loud, but everybody acknowledged it in the way they moved. V didn't sit down once. He moved through the house slow and deliberate, receiving hugs like confirmations and handshakes like renewals. People waited for him to speak, leaned in when he didn't. Sometimes he just nodded. Sometimes he let the silence stretch long enough to make a point. Sonny stayed close, but never crowded him, letting V speak when he wanted, stay quiet when he didn't. Everett posted on the first floor steps, watching everything that came in and everything that left. His presence louder than his conversation. Raj and Tommy rotated through, familiar and solid, checking in without checking up. Somebody brought a cake, but it stayed untouched on the counter all night. No candles, no song. V didn't need either. The room already revolved around him. 3 days later, my mom's birthday carried warmth in a way December usually didn't. December 13th felt like a reminder of before, of how things used to be when gatherings weren't layered with meaning. The music was louder, the food richer, laughter more genuine. My mom smiled easy, hugging everybody, telling old stories like she was trying to anchor us to something stable. She watched everything, even the things nobody thought mattered. Who showed up late, who didn't show at all, who lingered longer than necessary. She pulled Mitch aside and told him how proud she was, asked him about basketball like she already knew football was finished. Mitch's name was everywhere by then. Most rushing yards in the state, freshman of the year. Phone buzzed nonstop with numbers he didn't recognize. Football ended clean and decisive, like a chapter that did exactly what it was meant to do. Basketball humbled them immediately. No applause, no promises, just conditioning. Early mornings, and coaches who didn't care what he'd done in pads. When my mom hugged me, she held on longer than usual. Just make sure you don't rush becoming who everybody thinks you are, she whispered. Soft but firm, like protection disguised as advice. December had CeeLo changing in ways that didn't announce themselves. He wasn't louder, he was sharper. He started asking questions instead of making statements, listening more than he spoke. Sonny talked to him differently now, explaining systems instead of outcomes, patterns instead of shortcuts. CeeLo absorbed it all without rushing to show he understood. Erica noticed the shift and asked him what came next, where he was headed, what he was building. CeeLo told her he was working on something that didn't need noise to function. Progress didn't look like movement on him anymore. It looked like patience. That scared Erica more than anything else, because patience meant she couldn't predict where she fit. Denise's birthday on December 23rd was where the truth stopped whispering. The house was packed, music loud, lights low. The kind of night that felt like it was supposed to be fun. Denise floated through the room, calm and intentional, laughing just enough, hugging people like she knew exactly how long to hold on. When she pulled me aside, it wasn't dramatic, just unexpected. We stood in the laundry room near the back door, the hum of the dryer cutting through the noise of the party. She told me V wasn't watching Mitch or CeeLo the way I thought. He was watching me. She said V paid attention who people listened to, not who talked the loudest. She told me I had a habit of being trusted without asking for it, and that kind of thing never went unnoticed. They don't pull you in until they're sure you won't flinch, she said quietly. And you haven't flinched yet. That's usually when they start leaning in. I asked her what she was warning me about exactly. Denise didn't dodge it. She said December was about positioning, not decisions. January would test loyalty disguised as opportunity. Then she went further. She told me women around me weren't distractions, they were mirrors. Rhonda wants to be chosen. Virginia wants to be believed. Neither one of them is wrong, but both of them will cost you something. Her voice dropped. I learned that the hard way. Denise didn't sound bitter. She sounded experienced, and that made it harder to dismiss. She squeezed my arm before I could respond. Just make sure whatever you lose is something you're ready to let go of. Christmas season on 4th Street arrived like a checkpoint, not a finish line. The lights stayed up longer than usual. The street felt busy even when it wasn't. V smiled more than he did all month, like work had already been done. Sonny joked like nothing weighed on him at all. Mitch sat quieter than I'd ever seen him, Kai glued to his side, watching everything, learning without being taught. CeeLo stood near the window with Erica beside him, both of them looking out at the street instead of in the room. Denise caught my eye once and nodded like our conversation was still active and always would be. As people grabbed coats and doors opened and closed, something settled in my chest. Christmas wasn't about resting anymore. It was about recognizing momentum. Everyone had to decide whether you were walking with it or being carried, whether you like it or not.